Hello everyone. Good morning. So as part of today's session, we are going to see a brief introduction about the API. The reason is, Karate is a framework that we are using to test an API. Then we should know what is an API, what are we going to test as part of an API, and how are we going to validate those APIs. So API is an application programming interface. If you request an API with some inputs, definitely you will get an output from that particular API. Assume that I want to get today's weather information. So it's a get request. Assume that I want to create a new record for a particular user. It's going to be a post operation. So based on the operation, whatever we are performing, API will give you certain response, a token of a confirmation for that particular API call. So the various API requests which we have are get, post, put, and a delete. Get is a method which is used to get the data from a particular system. So there is some data, get it. As I have shown you example like get the weather information. Today's weather information is one kind of a get response. Moving on to a post, post is used if at all you want to create a new entry. So it means I just want to create a new user. I just want to create a new, new record. All those things you can do using a post. Moving on to a put, basically if at all there is any existing record is there, and if you want to update that existing record, you need to use this put method. And finally, the delete, you just need to delete is a method which is precisely used if you want to remove that complete entry from that particular application. Fine. These are the four requests. Immediately, a quick question will rise in our mind. Do we need to pass any kind of an argument precisely to deal with these requests? Of course. In order to handle the API requests, basically, we need a various kinds of arguments that we need to pass. So the first one here is a URL, which is going to be the API URL itself, followed by a header. Header means basically the applications that we are looking at right now is a public APIs, which doesn't need any kind of an explicit authorization. Assume that you are working on a client APIs. Definitely, it needs an authorization mechanism. Authorization mechanism, and what type of input you are passing also you need to specify in a header, followed by where any one of these methods along with the JSON input required. First, suppose if at all I'm going for a get, get is getting the information from that particular application. Hence, you no need to pass any JSON information. Whereas a post and put, you are inserting something into an application. Definitely, what are all the set of information you want to insert? You need to pass it as a JSON body for post and as well as a put. Perfect. And then the next point, how are you going to validate the APIs? The first and a foremost thing that you will be validating the APIs is by its response codes itself. If we are getting anything on a 200, 200, 201, 204, something, 2xx basically. If you are getting any API response on a 200, we can say that it's success. Whatever the operation you have performed, it's success. Maybe it successfully retrieved the information, it successfully updated the information, all those things will come from a 200 response codes. Moving on to the next one, 400, either 400, 401, 404, etc. All these things, client error, something is went wrong. And moreover, the most important thing that you need to consider is whenever you are encountering 400 errors, basically, it's your request issue. You need to cross check all the parameters that you have passed for a request and check whether the appropriate information for that request is passed or not. It's our responsibility. And moving on to the next one, which is a 500 errors, basically when we will get the 500 errors means, okay, you give a proper information itself, but the server is not responding. In such situations, you will be encountering this kind of a 500 errors. Perfect. This is all about APIs and the methods, guys. The reason is in Karate framework, of course, not only the Karate, whatever the API tool you are going to use, you are going to use these methods itself. Get, post, put, delete, and as well as these arguments and as well as this response codes. And moreover, here we were talking about a JSON body. So in the next lecture, what we are going to see means we will see a brief introduction about the JSON structure, how the JSON structure looks like. All those things we will see in the next session, guys. Thank you. Bye bye.